created us for more than climbing ladders and collecting carrots. That's always been the case. From word go, God's design for humanity is not just to climb ladders and collect carrots. Now, it's very, very tempting to believe that this is all we've been created for, because we love our ladders. Right? First of all, this is the finite world that we can touch and feel and smell and see and trust. Like these are the cars that we drive, the beds we sleep on, the dogs and cats we pet, our phones that we live on. This is we can trust it because we can see it, we can touch it. But the main reason why we love our ladders, and this is messed up, y'all. This is twisted, like clown in a gutter wanting you to play with them. Twisted, messed up. You ready? The main reason we love our ladders is because we choose the ladders we climb, we think we have control of our lives. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Let's say we're seniors. Where are you guys at? Seniors, okay? Let's say you roll up on your senior year, about to walk, about to grab that piece of paper and blow this popsicle stand. You're done. And you have your sights set on going to Alabama or Auburn or Sanford or Fairhope U, whatever, okay? And so you start climbing that ladder, and the dangling carrot at the top of the college ladder is that you and I walk away with a degree, a diploma, a little piece of paper. It says I'm smarter than the average bear, which means you pay me more than the average bear, right? And we choose the school we want to go to. I mean, unless your parent is like a legacy, boy, you're going to Alabama. My money's going to Tuscaloosa, whatever. If your parents, unless your parents like that, you get to choose where you want to go. And let's say you choose that school and see, choice equals power. Choice equals control. And let's say you're walking across the quad. You choose Bama. You're walking across the quad, okay? Denny chimes right there, and you pass it, and you see this girl, like, oh, dang, girl. And it's not just any girl, it's the girl. Like time stands still. Wind is blowing, your hair is moving. A ballad plays, you don't know what's coming. And you see her and you're like, I must have her. And so you pursue her, maybe stalk her, we don't know. And so, like, nobody puts a gun to your head saying you gotta fall in love with this girl, you gotta marry this girl. It's not freaking India, you know what I'm saying? Like we have the power of choice. We have the power of choice. We get to choose. Hey guys, listen to me. And this cycle I'm describing to you, setting up ladders, climbing those ladders, collecting those carrots, choosing the ladders we climb makes us think we have control of our lives. But all that has to happen is life comes along and does this, and we do this. Because nobody likes their ladders messed with, right? Like if my life is a chessboard and all the chess pieces are my choices, don't move my chess pieces around, right? Like those are my choices. On the whole, most people don't like change. And so it's like, this always sucks. It's never fun. And sometimes it's small and kind of like, benign. Sometimes it's life coming along and just kind of kicking the tires, see what we're made of. That may be when you something stupid like failing algebra test. Whatever, you'll get over it, you'll live. Then sometimes it's a little more intense. Sometimes it's like and that's like, fellas, let's just go back to that girl example. Let's say you find that girl and you go all in, you pursue her, you're with her, you start dating her, you're in a relationship, and finally you just lay it out there on the line. You're like, girl, I'm finna drop an L-bomb. I love you. I'm finna marry you. And she pulls one of these. You're a really great guy. All right, listen. It's not gonna end well, fellas. Be on the lookout. Matter of fact, I would not even let her finish. I'd just be like, ah! Because this takes many forms. Be on your toes. It also looks like this. Oh my gosh, someday you're going to make somebody really, ah! Dead to me. You just need to be like, darn, girl. I have no experience with that personally. I'm just guessing. It's not working. Shot in the dark. Anyway. And then sometimes sometimes life doesn't just kick the tires or give us a little shake, rattle, and roll. Sometimes it feels like life comes along with a can of gasoline and goes, lights a match. This thing's on fire, and we're like, oh my God, help me! We're dying, the ladder's on fire, and we're on it. Now, what does that look like? Guys, listen, that looks like big stuff. Listen, shh. That looks like you come home and you can feel there's a weird vibe in the house, and mom and dad have you sit down, and then they break the news that they're going to get a divorce. That's when, girls, the guy that you are so into, you find out he's got the raging porn addiction, and you're like, what? I thought you would. See, when that stuff happens, when that stuff that is when somebody that you really love gets cancer, and it's the bad kind, and they don't get better. See, guys, when that stuff happens, it's not just even a shake or rattle. The ladder's on fire, we're on it, and it feels like it's literally tumbling over. We're like we're on this thing. We're on it, trying to ride it like a Bronco bull. And life seems to be falling apart. So then the question becomes, what do we do when that happens? When the ladder's on fire, what do we do? Well, a lot of people medicate. Alcohol, drugs, porn, pot, whatever. Pick your poison. Like anything to numb the pain. Anything to make me feel good right now. Because I don't like the ladder being on fire. I need to not feel this hurt right now. Some people just smile and pretend it's not bad. They think everything's okay when it's not okay. Some people have an actual crisis of faith. It brings them to like this precipice where they feel like they're on the edge of a cliff, and out here is God, and this mysterious, God that you cannot, it feels like you can't trust because you can't see him, you can't touch him, you can't feel him, you can't pour God into a beaker and say, there's God. But this, I can trust because it's finite and it's real. I can feel the seat beneath my butt right now. Like I can trust that. But out here, what is God? And who is he that I should trust in? And so it becomes a crisis of faith. And this is often happens, is what starts out as a crisis of circumstance will morph into a crisis of faith. See, every crisis starts out circumstantially, right? Your parents, somebody's like one of your mom or dad is cheating on the other person. Infidelities in the marriage, that's a circumstance. It's horrible and it wrecks families, but it's circumstantial. But if it gets bad enough and the ladder's on fire long enough, the circumstantial crisis will eventually point us to God. And your mom, the wife, will cry out and say, God, if you love me, save my marriage. Maybe you as the student are like, God, if you're real, keep my parents together. See, at the end of the rope, when we're at the end of our rope and the ladder's on fire, it doesn't matter who you are. That's when we throw those Hail Mary prayers, We're like, God, if you'll just get me out of this bind, I'll promise I'll go to church every day for the rest of my life. God, I promise you if you'll do this, I'll do that, right? We show like hardcore bartering. When the reality is that many times God allows things to happen in our lives to bring us to that precipice, to bring us to the edge of that cliff, so that we will choose if we're going to trust God and specifically the person of Jesus Christ and place our trust in him wholesale, or are we just going to keep waking up every day and doing this? Now here's the deal about this. We have to do this to survive. Like you got to wake up, brush your teeth, put your pants on, go to school. Your parents got to get up, they got to go to work. Like, wait, so in some ways we have to do this, but the catch is not falling to the lie and falling prey to the lie that this is all we've been designed for. Because there's never going to be a ladder. There's never going to be a carrot that satiates us completely, that fulfills us completely. God has designed the dirt wad to be that way. That's why there's never going to be a relationship that completely satisfies you. There's never going to be an amount of money. Guys, this is true. You don't have to be a Christian or a Bible person to know this. This is why we hear these stories of like Howard Hefner, Howard Hughes, whatever the guys. Oh, Hef is the Playboy guy. Hughes is the other rich guy. But these guys, these people, these titans of industry, right? Who have like more money than God, but they're miserable. Like those stories exist as living proof that we were never created for this alone. There's nothing inherently evil about the ladder in and of itself. The problem becomes is if we believe that this is all there is and this is all we should aim to be. When there's a place in the Bible where God expressly says that He's created us for purpose, and it has so much more to do with ladders and carrots. In Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, God says this. He says, I know the plans that I have for you. And now we can stop right there, and that's good news, right? Like, oh my gosh, Travis, you're saying that, I'm more than this like kind of hodgepodge collection of bones and guts and tissues and sinews and whatever. Yeah, like there's a reason why we're walking around in this meat bag. Like there's more than just like swan diving off the top into a ladder into a pool with no water. Well, the verse gets better. It gets even more juicy. God says, I have plans to prosper you. What? Travis, are you telling me that if I jump on the Jesus train, that I'm going to be rich? Not necessarily. Guys, if your parents are rich, there's no guarantee you're going to be wealthy and taken care of, maybe like you think they are. I mean, statistically, that's likely, but it's not a promise. It's not a guarantee. That's not what the verse is talking about. The verse is not talking about money. The verse gets even better. God says, I got plans for you. I have plans to prosper you. I have plans not to harm you. And we might think, okay, well, if I'm a good person and I go to church a lot, then I'm like 10 foot tall and bulletproof. That like nothing ever bad will happen to me. Guys, of course that's not what the verse is saying. If that were true, nobody who called themselves a lover of God or a Christian would ever catch a cold or stump their toe. I mean, we'd be immortal, right? But the last part of the verse is the linchpin that holds it all together. And it's the keys to the kingdom when it comes to discovering life purpose. Here's what the last part says. God says, I know the plans that I have for you. Plans to prosper you. Plans not to harm you. Here it comes. Plans to give you hope in the future. And the hope in the future that God is talking about and that He has for us is you and I realizing that there is life beyond the ladder. And that life, when we make that step into the abyss of faith, and we place trust in this God we can't see, in this Jesus that we cannot feel, when we do that, you guys, God says, okay, now you can start really living out your purpose. Because what is our purpose? Let's just answer the question. I asked you in the beginning. We've been kind of like dancing around it, bobbing and weaving. Let's answer the question. I said in the beginning, why are we here? Why are we here? On the dirt wad, taking up space. What's our purpose for being alive? It's not phase of life, and it's not career. Oh my gosh, it's not career. Tim Keller has this amazing quote about confusing career with purpose. He says, don't ever make the mistake of confusing career with your life purpose, or even more specifically with identity, because if you're successful, it'll go to your head, and if you're a failure, it'll go to your heart. So, then what's the answer? What is it then? Well, here's the answer. Guys, we were created. Our purpose in this world is to encounter the Creator. That we would engage and encounter and step into a relationship with the one who made us. And once we do that, enjoy the privilege of companionship, the joy of being called a son or a daughter, a brother, a sister, joining this family and realizing that, man, oh my gosh, from the beginning, God has never designed me just to be a world-class CEO who has a killer portfolio. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not why we exist. God has created me for more than getting married and having kids. Nothing wrong with that, but that is not your life purpose. It's bigger. It's bigger. Our life purpose is to literally encounter relationship with the living God. To trust in this Jesus who says that I am he says in John 14:6, he says, I'm the way, I'm the truth, I'm the life. And nobody comes to the Father but through me. And so that's where we land. That's where this thing all kind of like finishes at the end. Is like, what are you going to choose to live for? Ladders and carrots? Or taking that step to fully trust and give your heart and your life over to this God who loves you, to this Jesus who's calling out to you? Let me pray for you. Let's pray.